Hi, welcome back. So, I am Peter Jank with C&D Games, and I am the creator of Spellbook, the card game, which is a really cool dueling magic spell casting game which you and a group of up to 4 friends can play pretty much a head-on-head battle against each other. And what it is you get a deck of spells, and you pretty much just draw cards and play spells to try to knock down your opponent's health, and your opponent's health is actually represented by the deck. So as soon as their deck reaches 0, they lose the game, and vice versa with you and whoever else is playing. So it's a really cool game, Spellbook right here. So what I have here to show you guys currently is we have Spellbook, and now we have Spellbook the Deluxe Edition. So I'm pretty much just showcasing what Spellbook the Deluxe Edition really kind of entails, what comes inside of Spellbook the Deluxe Edition, and kind of my thoughts on it. So really quickly, everything that comes in here, there's over 300 cards that come in here. The Deluxe Edition actually comes with all the cards you're going to need for at least 4 people to play, which is really cool, so it kind of ups the ante there. Also, what it comes with is all 3 of the expansions. One that's not even released yet. The second one's getting released as soon as the Deluxe Edition goes up. Not only that, the 3rd expansion will include new spells, which will include dice, which come included with the game here as well. So you'll get 2 black dice. You'll get a full color rule book, which is really cool. It's an 8-page rule book. So pretty much what it's going to have is everything you're going to need to know about all the different spells and all the different kind of icons that are going to be, and not only the base game, but all 3 expansions. That way you don't have to kind of go back and forth with all the different rule books. So this will come with that. Lastly, the final thing I included with this is an amazing, amazing, amazing thing that I just came up with not too long ago, but promo cards. So there's going to be 25 promo cards. So lastly, what I want to do is pretty much just show you a close-up view of all the different cards. Not all the cards, but a good variety of the cards here, and then I'll get back to you on my final thoughts.
Alright, so here's a brief overview of kind of what you're going to get in this game. You're going to get every single type of card you're going to get in here. So you're going to get all the different kind of spells, all the different kind of equipment and artifacts and all that fun stuff that come included with all the other expansions. Again, they're all going to be in the Deluxe Edition. So what you're going to get here is the different kind of spells, and here's a brief overview. So we have right here attack spells, which are great. Good for attacking your opponent, obviously. We got protect spells. This is going to help you protect against those attacks, which is amazing. We're going to have the heal spells, which help you heal. We've got trap spells, which are great because it's a good way of hiding pretty much a protection spell and not letting your opponent know, hey, this is what I've got. And we have the summon spells, which are awesome because they act as towers or like barriers to yourself to blockade any kind of spells. So it's forcing your opponent to actually kill the summon spells prior to actually attacking you. So summon spells, very important. Equipment. Equipment is awesome because it's a card that stays in play constantly. The only thing is you can only have 1 in play at a time. But the good thing is these are pretty good cards to have handy, and when they do show up, you're almost always wanting to put them out. So that's equipment. So that is the base game. What you have next is in the 1st expansion. The 1st expansion was included with alchemy cards, which give you a choice between pretty much 2 things. But that's a really great thing with the alchemy. It gives you a choice between 2 things there. And then lastly, in this expansion came with the enchant spells. And the enchant spells give you kind of like a 1 buff, or a buff that will last up until your next turn card. Next is the 2nd expansion. The 2nd expansion included these 2 cards here. So the first one is the dead spells. The dead spells are cool because they have 0 cost up at the top, so it doesn't cost any mana, but what it does is it forces you to discard discard cards opposed to actually playing any kind of mana or tapping any mana to perform the actual spell. So it's a different way of attacking. So dead spells. And then lastly, we have the Holy Grail. Now the Holy Grail is cool, and again, in the rulebook has all the different icons and stuff like that. So if you do get confused with any of these icons, because there are a lot, it'll tell you right there. So the star for the artifacts are represented by another name called the Wild. So when this card is present, the player can choose one attack, 1 heal, 1 draw, or 1 mana, or draw a card from the top of your deck. So it does 5 different things. Artifacts are amazing just for that fact. That's artifacts. Really cool cards. And the last but not least, card that you're going to get in the 3rd expansion here are the Lux spells. And Lux spells are awesome because they do use these dice, and the dice again come in the Deluxe edition, and it comes with 2 dice. So Lux spells, so what this means is it's going to determine right here on the dice, if I roll a 1, this is going to do 1 damage. Or I'm going to roll a 4, and it's going to do 4 damage. Awesome stuff with Deluxe spells. I think it pretty much says it all. So let's take a closer look at some of the other cards that are actually in the Deluxe edition. First, we have attack spells. Attack spells are really awesome. These are some of the cards that I pulled out of the box here to show you guys. So really quickly, a brief overview in case you guys didn't watch my very first video. Up at the top we have the name of the spell. Right next to that we have the mana cost. Again, you're going to have 3 mana out in front of you always. And during your turn, it's up to you on what spells you want to play, and each one costs mana to play. Some, as in this case, Illness, costs 0 mana to play. Alright? Hopefully that didn't confuse you guys too much. To the sides of the card, you have different kind of elements going on. So right here, you have the fire element, light, electric, ice, dark, and poison. Alright? So the Illness, because this one's actually lit up, you can see the colors right there, it's lit up for you guys to see, is a poison attack spell. Alright? Down below it, it tells you what kind of spell or what kind of card it's going to be. So this one's going to be the attack spell. And underneath that is going to be the card effect, where you're going to see most of the time symbols. Sometimes you're going to see a little bit of text, which will differentiate what kind of different effects that card will do. Alright, so that being said, let's continue. So this one's Illness, very cool card. Toxic Wave does 4 damage, really cool. Does it's 2 mana. Living Earth, I think this one's an amazing card. This does 3 damage, and then what the shield means right here is it's unblockable. So no opponent can actually block this attack whatsoever. Right next to that is a scroll. The scroll, in other words, is called a free play, which means after I play this Living Earth card, the next card I play, no matter what the card is, it's free to play. No mana is spent. So that's a great card to play. So you're doing 3 damage, it's unblockable, you're going to be doing a free play, and then the next card you're going to be playing is going to be doing some damage. Or it's going to be free. Alright, so that's Living Earth. Drowning, 3 damage. Again, this is an unblockable symbol, and it's ice and dark, so that's really cool. And it's Transmogrify. So this one's actually pretty cool. So essentially you're turning your opponent into a frog. So an opponent can only cast 1 spell until their next turn. So it kind of really limits what the opponent's going to do. Transmogrify. Next, we're going to have Protect spells. So, the first Protect spells are, this one's Charm. So what this does is it blocks any spell that you want, as long as the element is lit up. So if they try to play Transmogrify on me, I can block it with this Charm, because at least the light is lit up, and so is the light on the Transmogrify. So I can block this spell. Even if I was playing Drowning, like, alright, I'm going to try to attack you with Drowning, I can actually block it with Charm, because yes, I do have both the dark and the ice symbol lit up on Charm. So that's how you pretty much block cards. So there's Charm. Then we got Teleport. Again, this is another one that blocks everything. Divert. And that's pretty much it. We got some text. So block any one attack spell from the opponent and reverse the spell onto any opponent. So that's a really good attack or protect spell to kind of just divert anything, which is pretty neat. Alrighty, moving on. So we have heal spells. Heal spells are another part of the base game. These are pretty cool. I'll go through these fairly quickly. So before we had Cure, this one's Mega Cure. So this is healing you 4. So what this does is it takes 4 cards from your discard pile, puts them into your deck, and then you shuffle up your deck, and that's pretty much essentially healing you up 4 cards, which is pretty good. Miracle. Miracle lets you have 2 additional mana during your turn. So during your turn, you get 2 more mana to use. So you're beefing up your mana from 3 to 5, which is awesome. It means you get to play more cards. And because this is unblockable, that stops the opponent from blocking this card. Unblockable. Jeez Louise. Alright, Zombify. This one right here is really cool. Draw. What it does is it takes 1 card from your discard pile and places it directly into your hand. So that's what that book symbol means. And then we have Life Drain. Life Drain gives you 2 heal, and again, there's that free play. So this is a really cool card. Heals you up, and the next card you play is going to be free. Next, we have Traps. Trap spells are awesome because, again, I've mentioned this before. You just leave them out in play, and you place it upside down. So when the opponent tries to attack you and it meets one of these prerequisites for the element type, you can flip it over and block it. Alright, but this only works, traps only work for attack spells unless the effect says otherwise. So if they tried to attack me with a fire spell, I would be able to turn this over and block it, and then this is also unblockable, so they wouldn't be able to use a protect spell to try to block this. So you can really do some crazy combos here. Next, we have Ice Trap, which only blocks ice spells. Rising Barrier, which only blocks, or actually blocks everything, which is awesome. And Entanglefoot, which is the only card in the entire game that will block any one unblockable attack spell. So, awesome card. One thing I want to mention, a lot of people would bring up, alright, well, when they play a trap, how do I know they're going to be paying enough mana? Every single trap card is at 1 mana cost. Alright, next we have summon spells. Summon spells are great. As I said before, they act as barriers. So what you pretty much do is you play this in front of you. It's going to take the effect of this. So what it's going to do is it's going to do 1 attack as soon as you play it. Alright. After it's played, it doesn't attack anymore. It just stands there as a wall with 2 life, or however much life. So in this case, it's a ghost, and the ghost has 2 life. So I play this in front of me. It's going to take at least 2 attack to kill this ghost, and then you can finally attack me. Alright. So that's the ghost, and that's the summon spell. Next we have the ghoul. This one does 3 attack, which is awesome. It only has 1 life, so it's not going to do very much good at blocking you. But again, they're going to have to block you or attack this before they can hit you anyways. So it's doing 3 attack. That's amazing. Next we have the golem. So it's kind of more of your balance. So you got 2 attack and 2 life, which is really good. And then lastly we have the slime. And the slime we have 1 attack and then 3 life. So this one's a really good blocker. Lastly we have the equipment. So I'm going to run through this quickly. I'm not going to really go through each card, but I'll show you guys the pictures. So we got the Jinx Shield, which is really cool. The Mage's Staff, which is awesome. The Poison Robe. And then we got a whole bunch of different kind of robes in the game which block different elements. Next we have Alchemy. As I said, you get a choice between each, so I'll go through these fairly quickly. We have a Health Potion. We have the Majestic Elixir. Now these ones are the only ones that come with, you don't get a choice. You just get 1 additional mana, which is great. And then we have the White Potion. And then we've got a Fire Tonic, which is good because it gives you a wild, or you can just do a free play, which is awesome. Next, we have the Enchant Spells. Enchant Spells, again, I'm not going to read all these off, but they're those buffs that last until your next turn. So we have the Dead King. We have Divination. We have Strength, which is great. And then we have Haste, which gives you, your next card is going to be a free play. So that's awesome. Next, we have Dead Spells, which are awesome cards because, again, you're not using any mana. You're just discarding cards from your hand. So this one does 5 attack for 2 cards from your hand, which is awesome. Bloodlust, awesome. Inside Out, really neat. And then we have Frostbite. Alright. And then lastly, or not lastly, but next we have Artifacts. Again, these are the wild cards, so these are all of them are the exact same thing. They're just really cool to look at. So we got the Necronomicon, we have the Philosopher's Stone, and then we have Pandora's Box. And now lastly, we have the Luck Spells. Luck Spells are really cool. Again, these are the ones that use dice to attack or use dice for other means. And then we got Nightshade, which is awesome. Sleep is that other one for other means, so you get to roll a die and pretty much make your opponent lose their next turn. Last thing I want to talk about are the promos, and I kind of want to go through these. I'm very excited about these. These are some pretty crazy promos, I'm not going to lie. They're very overpowered, some of them more than others, but we'll go through them really quickly. So we have Ancient Scroll, which is a wild and a free play. We got Battle Mage Helm, which blocks dead spells and luck spells. Chain Lightning, this attacks all your opponents. With the next attack spell you cast plus 3 more damage. Control, Diamond gives you 2 wild. We have Gift of Soul, which is really cool. Plague, it does 5 damage, plus it's a free play, and it only costs 1. Spellbook, the name of the game, you draw up to 6 cards now instead of 5, so at the beginning of each turn, if you're down to 1 card, you draw 4 cards. You're always drawing up to 5 cards into your hand. Alright, so this allows you, with it being in play, you can draw up to 6. Third Eye, which is really cool, I won't go through all that. Armageddon, this is one of my favorites. It does cost 3. But it does 10 attack. That's the most in the entire game. So I mean, that's pretty crazy. Blasphemy. This one's cool. It's 6 attack, only discard 1, and it's unblockable, which is pretty insane. Chance, pretty cool. It's a luck spell. We have Cosmic Tonic. It gives you a choice between 3 and 3 of 3 and 3, which is really neat. We have Echo. This is the only card that uses 3 dice, which is pretty sweet. This one is probably the most overpowered card in the entire game, and it looks so simple and it looks so innocent, but you place all of an opponent's discard pile into your deck and shuffle. That's the ultimate heal there. They can have 20 cards in their discard pile, and you can just play this card, which costs 3 mana, but you can just completely heal yourself 20 life. It's insane. So this one's really overpowered, probably going to make some people angry. Protection, this is a block, and it's unblockable, and it's a free play, plus it's 0 mana, so this is an awesome card to have. Splash Trap, this one's really cool. This one you can play twice. Augment, another great enchant spell. We have Carrion Vines, which is a really cool trap spell as well. Then we have the Charging Mage, gives you 3 mana, and it's unblockable. That's nuts. Cryo Shock, this one attacks all opponents, 4 damage, and it's a free play. Forget, you draw 3, which is awesome. Well, the card does that. Owl, the only summon spell with the promos. It only does 4 attack, which is pretty good amount. It has 3 life, and look at that. It costs 0 mana. That's nuts. It's like the Bowie Owl. Alright, and then we got Screwed. This is actually one of my favorite cards because it's kind of funny. So Screwed does 9 attack, but you have to discard the other 4 cards in your hand, leaving you... Alrighty. And lastly, we have Swap, which is another enchant spell, which is really cool. Alright, I'm going to give you my thoughts, and again, this is an amazing game because it does come with all the mana cards you need to play with 4 separate people, so it's a great game. Alright, so here's my final thoughts.
Alright, so as I said, this is an amazing game. It comes with so many different cards, so many different kind of attacks and spells and all sorts of different stuff. And I mean, because it comes with all 4, or comes prepared for 4 players, I think this would be a great party game for a lot of people, just kind of attacking each other and kind of just sitting back and relaxing and kind of take that, and I think it's going to be great. I mean, I think a lot of stuff kind of went into this. I put a lot of heart and soul into this game, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. It's $45 currently right now. It might be a little pricey for some, but if you think about it in the long run, the base game for Spellbook's $20, and each expansion is $15. So right there, that's already a pretty big boost. And then the back of the spell cards, they are updated back art that I created. Kind of gives it more of that spell book thought to it, so that way it kind of looks more like a spell book. But again, I really love the old art as well. But it's kind of an enhancement, and the promo pack only comes with the deluxe edition, so that's something else that you guys can look forward to that you may not be able to get with the other expansions. Granted, if you just want to buy the base game and maybe just 1 or 2 expansions, definitely go that route. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. But if you're looking for something like Spellbook and you want all the cards to it, plus additional cards and all the fun stuff, definitely pick up the Spellbook Deluxe Edition. I think it's a great buy. And as I said, it's a lot of fun, and I definitely appreciate all your guys' support and everything that you guys have pretty much helped me out with. So again, pick up Spellbook, the Deluxe Edition. It's only $45. Thanks a lot for watching.